Welcome to the Warframe Weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Alternox. You can get the blueprint for the Alternox from the 3rd tier of bounty on Zariman, and it's a rare reward with about a 3% chance to drop. Now the Alternox is a Mastery Rank 8 fully automatic primary rifle that does pure electricity damage with mediocre crit and good status. And it comes with 2 fire modes, with the stats I just mentioned being for the primary full auto. The secondary fires a ball that will pulse out damage, which does pure electricity as well, with the ball doing extra damage on impact, which is still primarily electricity, but it also has a lot of puncture and then just a little bit of impact and slash. And this fire mode has basically non-existent crit, but it has even better status than the primary one. The primary full auto mode is pretty straightforward, but the secondary mode is actually really cool. So it consumes 4 ammo to fire out this ball, which then pulses damage and detonates after 10 seconds. However, you can detonate it earlier by pressing the secondary fire button again, so you can actually use it to do decent bursts of AoE damage. And finally, let us also not forget that the weapon has the best reload looking animation in the entire game. It just drips with swag. Now, as far as the build goes, this is the one that I personally like the most, where you go hybrid with Point Strike and Vital Sense for the crit, and then 3 dual stat mods which combine into Corrosive and Heat, and I also really like to add Speed Trigger for a ton of extra fire rate. This is definitely not the most damaging build you could have on the weapon. If you decide to invest into it a lot more, you could run Galvanized mods as well as an Arcane, and that would basically change this build completely, but I like this one because it's simple, it's cheap, and it feels really good. The damage, however, is not amazing here. It feels good up to about level 70, and after that it just takes too many shots to take down some of the beefier enemies. And honestly, with the recent Eximus changes, I wouldn't really take it above level 50, because at that point the Eximus get really beefy and it's gonna take far too many shots to take them down. Now you can of course make the weapon do more damage. A companion with a Vigilante set is gonna help a lot here with the overcrit bonus. You can help it out with some Warframe buffs, or as I've mentioned already, you can go with a more expensive Galvanized build, but realistically for most builds its effectiveness is gonna fall off pretty sharply between levels 50 and 70. That doesn't mean the weapon is bad though, it's still fun to use and it feels nice. It's just that the single target damage nowadays, after the Eximus changes, doesn't feel particularly great. It feels fantastic when you're fuffing around on the star chart, but even if you just go to Zariman and you run into like a beefier Eximus, or into one of those, I call them Void Knights, I don't actually remember what they're called, you know, the big guys with the scythe, it doesn't feel particularly good. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend grinding for the Alternox, but if you just randomly happen to get it by finishing a bounty, you might as well build it, level it up, get the mastery from it and try it out, and who knows, maybe you'll really like it and you can then invest into a more expensive Galvanized build. Also, if you want to get the absolute maximum out of this, you should really use it on Gyre, because you get extra multi-shot for it since it's her signature weapon. And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching as always guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.